Hello and welcome to Sparring Sessions. My name's Dax, and we're here today to give you a little preview for the year 2026. We don't have any UFC events coming up on the fourth week now without UFC, so figure we give you guys a little something, go down some of our thoughts, a little chiller of an episode. But before we actually start breaking down anything, of course, I need to bring in the panel, the co-hosts. First, UFC Genie, how you doing today, Genie?
I'm doing good. 2026. Still no UFC fights that we've got to see yet, but we're inching closer and closer every day. So
Inching closer and closer.
I'm
Speaking
I'm
of
doing
inching
good
closer
though.
and closer, Mr. Honeypeck himself, Big Will, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm excited for the fights to kick off. I will be at the very first event of the year,
Ooh,
so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, we got a nice trio from the chat going. We got me, Najee, and Dylan going,
oh
and I
boy.
think and I think Steven that lives in Vegas. So
Yeah,
that'll
good
be a
for
good
him.
time, man. Yeah, man. I think what better way to start the year than by going to the event? Yeah, it's a great card, and it's all downhill from there. So.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna go run down some of the events that are booked right now, some of the big fights. We have, I'd say, most of the first quarter of the UFC, and a few. We even have an event in August that's it's not official, but we know about. So first up, Las Vegas, UFC 324, Gaethje versus Pimblett, co-main, Kayla versus Amanda. Um, the week after, still in January, UFC 325, Volkanovski versus Lopez 2 in Australia. We have the week after that, UFC Apex, first Apex card of the year, Mario Bautista and Lockdog, Vinicus Oliveira. Um, After that, we're going to Houston, UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Hernandez. Mexico City, the week after, Brandon Moreno versus Asul Mbayev. Unless they put Macy Chiasson and Eileen Perez as the main event. They might. I don't know.
Hold on.
UFC 326 got Holloway versus Oliveira 2. Shout out to the GOAT for the BMF title in Vegas. And then Apex card after that. No headliner right now, but there's some fights I could see headlining. In March, we got the London show, yearly London March show. It's a fight night. Seattle, Washington, also in March. Got a few fights there that could be main event. Vulture Walker, Jeannie's favorite. Got another Apex fight the week after that. UFC 327, Miami. Only two fights booked. Nothing official there. UFC White House, June 14th. No fights booked. And then UFC Fight Night Shanghai, August 29th. Going to be Road to UFC. I guess they have to put the permits in and it gets public or it's publicized or something. So I guess we know that. So with all that being said, we're going to kick things off with our 2026 end of year champion predictions. We all obviously know the champions right now, but I think we're going to get a lot of turnover last year, and I'm curious to see who you guys think are going to be undisputed champions, or maybe interim, maybe you could say interim, by the end of 2026. So we're going to start from the very bottom. Women's strawweight is your favorite division. Let's uh, let's hear your champion prediction for 2026.
I'm gonna put this out there. I would not be surprised if all three of us have the same three answers here.
I would
Um,
guess so. Yeah.
the 25 is the only one where I see like maybe some differentiation, but I think we go Zhang Wei Li for 115. I think she's gonna come back, probably dust up Mackenzie Dern, and who knows if we'll even see her fight again this year if she dusts up Mackenzie Dern. Or are we just gonna are we gonna rattle off the
We'll do women's. Why don't you give us all three
okay,
women's? I'm
dang it, yeah,
guessing we're
okay.
gonna, yeah.
For 125, I'm going Natalia Silva. I think she's
Ooh,
younger. I think she
wow.
finally. I think maybe Shevchenko will get another defense in there. I don't really know. Um, Depends on what her schedule is, but I could definitely see uh, some slippage in Shevchenko as we've seen. She's just become a wrestler later in her career, and it's not favorable. And I guess in some matchups, she looks more dominant using that technique or those techniques than others. And I don't think she'll be able to do that to Natalia Silva. And for 135, Kayla Harrison.
Interesting. Okay. I differ on two of those. Jeannie, I'm guessing you also have Zhang, but you were looking a little surprised at
Well, to
Will's
be honest
125
with
pick.
you, I was expecting Will to say Valentina or some like I picked Natalie Silva as well, and I thought he
Who?
was about to say Valentina.
Who? Who'd you pick?
Natalia Silva.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked her as well. I think she's too elusive, and as he said, Shevchenko's kind of been regressing, leaning on her wrestling a bit. So I think she's gonna take that belt. So that's my pick, and then I've also got Kayla Harrison. So me and Will have the same list.
Interesting. I'm going to differ from both of you. 125, uh, I have Valentina. I think she can wrestle Natalia Silva, and I don't really see anybody that beats her. Uh, unless, okay, so I have my official list, and then I have my special list. Okay, uh, women's 135. I am also going to go. I'm going to go Valentina Shevchenko. Double champ. I think she beats Natalia Silva, goes up. I could see her staying at 125. I think Amanda's going to beat Kayla and then retire. And so I think this might be the hottest take of the entire episode. I think we could
Juliana
end.
Pena.
Oh God, no, not that. All right, not that hot. Will I think we could end.
Shevchenko versus Pena.
I
Could
think
you
we could
imagine?
end 2026 with a Norma Dumont UFC bantamweight champion. That's not official. That's not official. Officially, I am saying Valentina Shevchenko double champ, but it could happen. It could happen. If Amanda beats Kayla, you do Norma versus I don't know, Eileen Perez maybe. Anyway, uh, I think it's going to be a weird year for women's fights. But let's move on. Let's go to men's. Jeannie, you want to do? Let's do two at a time now. You want to do flyweight and bantamweight for men's?
Sure, sure. All right, so starting off with men's flyweight, you know who I'm going here. I think Joshua Van's going to beat Pantoja if they get that rematch booked this year. I think he takes out Tatsuro Taira if they fight as well. I think Joshua Van is ending the year as flyweight champion. So that's my pick for men's flyweight. Moving up to bantamweight, this might be a hot take. Current champion Piotr Jan is going to have a trilogy fight with Merab. I see Piotr Jan beating Merab in the trilogy, and then we're going to get Umar versus Piotr Jan. And by the end of the year, Umar Nurmagomedov will be the bantamweight champion.
Okay. I'll go next. Flyweight. I think they do cop. I didn't think they do cop next early in the year. Josh Van is young. They want to get him in there. I don't know who's going to win there. I might pick Cop, but then I think Tattoo Retire is going to beat either one of them in September. Maybe they do it on that Shanghai card, even though I know he's Japanese, but still. I think Tattoo Retire is going to end the year as flyweight champion, and then bantamweight champion. I'm also going Umar Magomedov, but I got a little different path than you. I don't think they're going to give Merab the rematch right away. I think they're going to make him fight. I think they do. I think Sean O'Malley beats Song Yadong. They do the Sean O'Malley rematch. Peter Yan beats Sean, and then Umar beats. Well, I would pick Umar versus Yan or
You don't
O'Malley.
see Merab getting an immediate rematch?
Maybe, maybe. I think they might either make him sit out or um, even if he does come back, I would probably pick Umar again against him. But I don't think he. I don't know. I don't think they like him. I'll be honest. I think they kind of hate him. Something weird's going on there. Something weird. But anyway, Will, any any agreement? I was gonna say any disagreement, but we didn't agree on any of them.
on December 31st, 2026, I have Kyoji Horiguchi being champion.
Whoa. Wow.
I think he beats a lot of the top guys. I think he beats Van. I think he beats Pantoja. I think he beats Cop. Big Kyoji Horiguchi guy. Not much to say, but I think he's gonna fight once more, and then eventually fight for the title in the second half of the year.
Okay. I mean, he's booked right now against Albazi in I think that's February, right?
Is he? Okay. All right.
Let's see the path. How's he does he
Um,
how's he
I don't
get
know
in
if he
there?
gets a title shot. I don't know if he gets a title shot off of Albazi, but maybe he fights 3 times this year. I could see that. Maybe we see him fighting in the summer after he beats Albazi. I don't think much of Albazi. I think he'll win that fight. And then maybe he fights a. I don't know where they go. I don't know where they go after that, but I could definitely see him getting a title shot in the second half of the year. And for bantamweight. I have Sean O'Malley being the champion at the end of the
Wow.
year. I think Sean O'Malley beats Song Yadong. And then I think Sean O'Malley fights Peter Yan at the White House and beats him again in the rematch. And then I could see him easily sitting out the rest of the year.
Interesting. Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one with some crazy hot takes here. That's quite the bantamweight champion. All right. Well, let's move on to featherweight. I will kick us off here. This one's really tough. I think I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going Lerone Murphy. I think he beats Movsar. I think Diego Lopez beats Volk in February or no in January. I think Diego Lopez beats Volk. I think I think if they've got to give the winner of Movsar and Lerone a title shot, right?
Oh
After all
yeah.
this, I know they hate both of them, but I think Lerone beats Movsar and then beats Diego Lopez. I would pick him against Diego Lopez, as much as I like Diego Lopez, in November and maybe October, and then that's just it for the rest of the year. That's featherweight. Lightweight's interesting because you two gentlemen, I'm sure, are aware of the troubles that Ilya Taporia is going through. And recently, Dana White was asked, and he said the words we they hope that the winner of Patty and Gaethje will fight Ilya, but that's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee. So I could see him vacating, um, and while he deals with his um, parental legal issues, and they, I could see them promoting Paddy Pimblett, who beat Justin Gaethje because Gaethje's old, promoting Gate or Pimblett, and then Armin beating Paddy. But I think they're gonna do Paddy versus Ilya. I think it makes sense. I think he'll come back, and then Ilya doesn't fight often. I think that's it for him this year. That's how I think he ends the year as champion. This is going to be two of the more interesting ones. Will, I'm curious who you got.
Featherweight, I'm going with Volkanovski. I don't think he's retiring, and I think he's just all reliable at this point. So give me Volkanovski by the end of the year. He will uh beat Lopez and then probably beat whoever wins Lerone and Movsar and then probably not fight again this year, if I had to guess. Uh Lightweight was weird. I put Ilia Topuria slash Paddy Pimblett because I don't really know what's gonna happen. It's hard to carve out a pathway when you don't really know what the head honcho's doing. So yeah, I could see Paddy. Um again, fighting twice this year, maybe defending the title and eventually getting elevated later in the year. Maybe Ilya wants to start off 2027 with, whatever. Who knows? But yeah.
All right, fair enough. And Jeannie, I saw the hat. Is that a little nod to your men's featherweight champion for the end of 2026?
You caught me. Featherweight, I'm going Diego Lopez. I think he takes out Volkanovski, and if he fights Leroy Murphy, listen, we were watching in real time Aaron Pico's pressure just dominate Leroy Murphy early on in that fight. He was ahead He was beating the fuck out of Leroy
He
Murphy.
got
Leroy
fucking
Murphy,
murdered.
as he stepped into a spinning back elbow, but Pico was dominating that fight. And that's what Diego's going to do to him, but he's not going to step into a fucking spinning back elbow. So I'm taking Diego Lopez to beat Volkanovski. He beats Leroy Murphy, and he ends the year as champion. So I'm taking
Didn't
Diego Lopez.
didn't John Silva knock down Diego Lopez with a spinning elbow in their fight? I feel like that happened. I know he finished him, but
He ain't knocking
anyway.
down. Come on. What are you
Let
talking about? What are you
lightweight, let's
talking
hear it.
about? Lightweight. I have a little hunch that I'm going to get into a little bit more later in the video, but I don't think Ilya's fighting this year, and I think Paddy is going to be the undisputed champion, and then he's going to have to fight Arman Sarukian at a certain point in this year, and then we get Arman Sarukian to end the year as champion. I see Arman Sarukian beating Paddy Pimblett and finishing 2026 as champion. I don't even think he defends after he beats Paddy Pimblett. I think Arman's the type of dude to sit out 6 months after he wins the belt, and we'll probably see that fight maybe at the White House or... yeah, I could see that maybe because they're gonna want Paddy on the White House. I think if he beats Justin Gaethje in glorious fashion, like I think he's going to. I think they're
See
gonna
it.
put him on the White House card, and I think Arman Sarukian takes that belt easily from Paddy. So, yeah, that'll be my
I
end of
would
the year
pick
champion.
Patty, or I would pick Armin against Patty. All right. Some disagreement there as well. Will, I get a feeling these next two divisions might be, chalk. We'll call them chalk, heavy favorites, but there's some room for some hot takes here. Let's hear it. Welterweight and middleweight.
Um, welterweight going Islam Makhachev. I don't see him being super active. I could see him just holding down whoever he fights next, and then calling it a day for the year. Who knows? He could fight easily one time this year. No one will bat an eye. But for middleweight,
Ooh,
I'm going with my boy Brandon Allen to be the champion at the end
wow,
of
wow.
2026. I think he gets a matchup against DDP. I think he beats DDP, and then I think he fights whoever has that title belt in the second half of 2026 and beats them. I could see a world where that's Hamzat. I could see a world where that's what the hell is that guy's name?
Imavov.
Imavov. There it is.
Didn't
Yeah. I could easily see Brendan Allen falling into a title shot, not falling into earning a title shot, um, and becoming the champion at the end of 2026. He has all the skills to be a champion. It's just about putting it all together. And yeah, I look forward to seeing Brendan Allen 2026 because he's right there. He's the closest he's ever been. He's one fight away from getting a title shot.
All right. Jeannie, Will has taken copious amounts of drugs. Let's see have you if you have as well.
All right, so we're going up to welterweight, where currently we have Islam Makhachev as champion. By
Mhm.
the end of the year, though, how is he going to take down Michael Morales? Come on. What is he going to do
Ah,
to him? There's no way. Michael
God.
Morales is stopping the takedowns, and he's beating up Islam Makhachev and taking that belt. And by the end of the year, we got Michael Morales with a
Show that
90% takedown
triangle.
defense.
Show that triangle.
90%, 90% amateur. He was an amateur.
Show that
90%
triangle.
takedown defense. Michael Morales will be the champion of welterweight by the end of 2026. Book it. And we move up to welterweight or to middleweight. It's going to be Hamzat. There's no one taking the belt off of Hamzat until he decides to retire. Um, it's just the world we live in. I don't see anyone, like, at this point after DDP, man, I don't really see it being Imavov. Imavov, he has good striking, but I see him getting taken down, and it's going to be rinse and repeat. He's going to bully him on the ground. I don't see anyone living up to Hamzat's image at middleweight, so he'll be my end of the year champion.
Okay, interesting. Welterweight, it's gonna be Islam Makhachev. I don't think he's gonna fight until June. They could put him off until October. They could put him on the Abu Dhabi card because he's not gonna fight during Ramadan, right? And then if they do put him against Usman, against Kamaru Usman, he's gonna beat the shit out of him. And then I only think he fights once this year, so I think I would pick him against anybody at welterweight. Um, and then middleweight, I have Anthony Fluffy Hernandez as the middleweight champion at the end of 2026. And I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for I'm going to save the reasoning why for the next round. Um, just a little cliffhanger there, but let's get into the next final two divisions, light heavyweight and heavyweight. Jeannie, let us hear your yeah, Will did start welterweight. All right, Jeannie, let's hear your light heavyweight champion prediction.
I've got Carlos Alberg being the champion by the end of 2026. He's going to beat Alex Pereira by knockout. So that's my light heavyweight champion. Yeah, and heavyweight, Tom Aspinall. He's going to, maybe, hopefully, he gets this rematch against Cyril Gane. We need to see that fight happen still. Maybe the White House, maybe John Jones comes back and Tom Aspinall finally fights him. But whatever the case may be, I do see Tom Aspinall ending the year as champion, regardless of who he fights. I think it's only one title defense for him this year, though. So that's my heavyweight champion.
Hey, I'm gonna go down because I need to. There's a cascade here. Okay, there's a lot of moving pieces. I think we end the year 2026 with Tom Aspinall as the heavyweight champion after he beats the interim champion Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira beats Cyril Gane in April, we'll call it, and then loses to Aspinall in maybe MSG, maybe November, right? Aspinall loves or um, Pereira loves MSG, and that means the light heavyweight champion is going to be Hamzat Chimaev after he beats Yuri Prochazka to win the belt. I think Pereira's going to go up in April. I think they're going to do Prochazka versus Oberg, maybe June, maybe May for the vacant title, and then Hamzat's going to come up in December and beat either one of them, and that is why Anthony Fluffy Hernandez will be the middleweight champion of the world because he will beat maybe it's Brendan Allen, maybe it's DDP. No, not RDR. Maybe he beats somebody to become the middleweight champion. And Will, I'm gonna guess you're not gonna have either of the two guys that I just said. Let's hear your heavyweight and light heavyweight champions for 2026.
Jeannie, I want to ask you a question. Did you know Jessica Penne got a title shot before? Did you know that? One thing's for
What's your
sure and
point?
two things for certain. Alex Pereira is
What's your
not
point
fighting
here?
Carlos. He's not fighting Carlos Ulberg.
No,
He's
he's
not
not fighting
fighting.
Carlos
He's not.
Alberg.
He's in a whole. So Alex has like two or three fights left, and it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be left on Carlos Ulberg. I can see him fighting Jiri for the third time before fighting Carlos Ulberg, man.
You think they'd
Um.
make him do that?
Oh,
You think
I
they'd
don't
book
think.
that?
I don't think. I don't think you. I think you would do it before a Carlos fight.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
listen, I'd be scared of Carlos Alberg too.
He's a bland turkey burger.
Yeah.
Um, Light heavyweight, I'm going Jerry Prohaska. I think Alex moves up, vacates. Jerry, Jerry does what Jerry does. He beats anybody not named Alex Pereira in the 205 division. And heavyweight, I'm gonna go with Tom Aspinall. Pretty cookie cutter there. I think he's better than Cyril Gane. I think he beat Alex Pereira. Um, I don't know if we'll ever see the John Jones fight because I picked John Jones against Aspinall, but I don't know if we're gonna see that fight. So give me Aspinall to end the year as champion.
All right. So those are our champion predictions. If it all goes that way, it's going to be quite the year. I get a feeling we might get some more boring answers, but it is what it is. Next up, uh, let's go. let's go with our favorite fight that we have booked already for 2026. And by being booked, it's on Tapology. Okay, no rumors, no. I heard from my best buddy that I don't know, Francis Ngannou is going to box Jake Paul or something, right? So I think Will, you kicked us off for the champion predictions. Jeannie, what is your favorite fight that is on Tapology? It doesn't. I guess it doesn't have to be UFC even. It could be PFL. It could be GFL maybe if they had any. Let's
Could
hear
be
it.
could be street
So
beefs.
Street beefs. Ooh, there you go. Ooh,
yeah, I'm really looking forward to how that fight goes. So that's one of my favorite fights booked this year so far.
wow. Okay. You sure it's not Nora Cornell and Jocelyn Edwards? I know you're a big
Feel like
fan.
that fight's happened three
Um,
I it
times already.
it was hard to snuff that one.
you know where I'm going. It's the shirt, breaking out the shirt twice in the year. Do Bronx. It's the BMF title. Although these two guys, they don't need a title on the line to fight. They don't need anything. Holloway and Oliveira too. Two guys who are not at their peak, the peak of their power, but they're definitely at the peak of their popularity right now, I'd say. Um, it's going to be a banger. It's going to be, neither of these guys we don't need to talk about title implications. We don't need to talk about retirement. It's just going to be a banger. It's going to be a crazy fight. Um, yeah, we're gonna absolutely be here for it. And Will, let's hear about Cody Durden versus Naim Jargo Tumendemberal.
I'm gonna go super basic here and go with Patty Gaethje. Not only because I'll be there, it's just gonna be a fun fight no matter what happens. It's gonna be fireworks. Gaethje's never been in a boring fight, so can't complain with that. I also have a side fight here in Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker because someone's gonna get knocked out really funny,
That's a good one.
and
That's a good
someone's
one.
gonna someone's gonna hurt somebody, and the person that hurt them is gonna get slapped, and it's gonna look reminiscent of what was that? Ryan
Ewo
Spann.
Ebo.
No,
Oh, okay.
it was Ryan Spann versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Like they were just fighting on ice. It's gonna look like that. They're just throwing bombs, and it's very ugly, and yeah.
All right. Next up, we're gonna go one fight we need to see in 2026. I left this kind of open. It could be one fight that could realistically happen. It could be. I mean, I'm hoping we're not saying, Tony Habib or something here, but it could be
People
something
forget,
realistic or
man.
not. People forget. Um, I'm gonna go.
Fight does need to happen still, though. To be fair,
Eh, I think the world would the world the gods of MMA sent COVID as a plague to warn us that this fight does not need to happen. Okay, what would happen next? Nuclear war? Do we need to end civilization to for them to tell us this fight doesn't need to happen? I went a little off the board. It's a rematch that I really need to see. I think it should be 5 rounds. I don't know if it happens this year, but I would love to see it. I think um, one fight I really need to see this year, Kevin Vallejos versus John Silva 2. If they go to, I don't know, if they go to Brazil, if they maybe that could headline. I really hope they don't put that in Apex. But the first fight was so good. It was one of the best Contender Series fights ever. Both guys have made it into the top 15 now with featherweight in less than 3 years, and you get those two guys in there, 5 rounds. It's gonna be. I mean, it's not going 5 rounds, but it's gonna be crazy. So
Yeah.
that's my fight. A little off the board. I don't think I don't think I'm going to be sharing that with either you two guys. Will, let's hear what do you got next?
I think this is one where I just kind of felt like I needed to be a little basic. Islam versus Ilya. I don't know if that's going to be at 155 or 170. Most likely 170. That's if we get an active Ilia Taporia. That's if we get an active Islam, because I don't see either of them having that as their next fight, clearly. So maybe we get to see that as a second half treat in the year.
All right, all right, Jeannie, let's hear yours. Round it out.
So my one fight we need to see in 2026, I think, because there's still questions about what happened in the first fight in 2025. I think it's obviously Joshua Van versus Pantoja 2. We need to see if Joshua Van can really handle that test or if it was just a fluke injury. What's going to happen in that rematch. I personally think Joshua Van wins that rematch, but we still need to see it happen. And whatever happens in that one, like that is the future of the division. Whoever wins that, it could be Pantoja having like getting his legacy back. Ending as one of the best of all time. He could end up there with DJ if he beats Joshua Van convincingly. That could be a really legacy defining win for him. So I think we need to see that fight by the end of this year.
Okay, I like it. All right, moving next to locations that the UFC needs to visit. I'm guessing there's going to be a little bit of hopefulness, a little bit of desire in this category. Just to run down what they have right now. Of course, they got Vegas, they got the Apex, and outside of or T-Mobile, they got Sydney, Houston, Mexico City, London, Seattle, Miami, DC, Washington DC, and Shanghai. So who kicked off the last one? Was it me? Yeah, that was my fight. So, Will, let's go. Give me how many do you have already? I didn't give a
Just
number.
what locations?
Yeah,
Just two.
two. All right. Well, we'll go two. I've got three. Just give out all yours.
Clearly I'm gonna go with Philly. It's a fight city.
Got to do
It's
it.
it's known for, famous fight movies. You go with Rocky, name them. Philly is becoming a hub for bare knuckle boxing. The owner is from the area. They put on their premiere show every year, like WrestleMania, Knucklemania in Philly at the Citrus Arena, formerly the Wells Fargo Arena, now the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Um, yeah, if bare knuckle can come sell out an NBA arena, UFC could easily do that every year. Um, so they haven't been here in going on 7 years. 2019 was the last time. Me and Damir were at what was it? Gaethje versus Barboza. We had comp floor seats
Ooh,
for that
yeah,
event. It
yeah.
was pretty sick. It was pretty
Wow,
sick. It was a good event.
sounds crazy.
Second, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh because I think that's a bit of a forgotten place for the UFC. The last time they were there was 2017, and I will send either of you $10 if you can name who headlined that event.
UFC Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, September
I remember
16th, 2017.
I remember watching it. Was uh September of 2016. Was that
2017.
a 17? Was that a Valentina headliner?
No.
No, who was it?
Funny enough, the headliner in this fight was also in the Philly event that was last in Philly. It was Luke Rockhold versus David Branch. David Branch was on both of those cards.
All right.
That was
I don't know about that.
you guys were never gonna you guys were never gonna
No,
get that.
I
Yeah,
forgot that fight happened,
I
man.
believe
Jeez.
David Branch tapped to punches. So yeah.
Jeez.
Or
All right. Two Pennsylvania locations there. Jeannie, I'm guessing neither of those was on your list.
no, I only got one. Hey, whoa, listen. They're never coming to the city. No, I'm saying Toronto. They're gonna come back to Toronto.
Yeah.
They went to Montreal last year. They haven't been to Toronto since January of 2024. They've kind of been coming back to Canada quite a bit. You know, they've had the
Yeah.
Vancouver, the Edmonton. Um, so I think they come back to Toronto this year. Probably, I'd say maybe May. If that'd be a good guess. If have they announced the pay per view in May yet? No,
No.
I don't think
They
so.
haven't
Right?
even announced April yet.
They're still
Yeah,
putting together like fight nights for March and April, I think.
yeah.
Or
So I think
April at
it'd probably
least.
be yeah, like around May maybe they might announce one for Toronto. That'd be nice. So that's my location. We need to see them come back to in 2026.
Just one. All right. I like it.
Yeah, just the one.
Obviously, I know we just had a fight night, but Atlanta, they got to come back. That was an awful fight night. That was so bad. You remember that one? Kamaru Usman. Um, who was the co-main? It was a middleweight.
Was it Brundage and Mansour Abdul Malik?
That was on the card. Oh, it was Rose. It was Rose beating Miranda Maverick. You remember that one?
No.
No. Andre Petrosky striking with Edmund Shabazian. God, there were so many. That Paul
Watch it.
Craig,
Watch it.
Bolato.
Oh God.
There were so many bad fights on this card. I want them to come back here with a pay-per-view. There's no Atlanta fighters that would headline, but the last time they had a pay-per-view here, we had two fight of the years. We had
Yeah.
Dustin Max and Izzy KG, the GOAT. The
I think
second location,
Valentina I think I'm sorry to step on your toes. I think Valentina head kicked Jessica Eye in Atlanta as well.
that was 2017.
That was on this that was on the same card as Izzy Gastelum.
No, no, that
Same card. Same card.
was it?
Oh yeah. Carson was there. I remember. I remember him saying that, I guess. I guess it doesn't really matter, but
No, that was in Chicago. That was in Chicago. I know
am
what
I
you're thinking of, though. Valentina fought in Atlanta in. Oh, no, I'm tripping. She's never fought in Atlanta. Huh.
maybe
Anyway,
uh oh
I want
well.
them to come back here with the pay-per-view. I think that'd be cool. My second one is kind of a weird one. If the war ends, I'd love for them to go back to Russia. UFC Moscow. Um, the last one was kind of a bummer, but Moscow's had some really good cards, and the crowd surprisingly is really good. They could take any of their boring champions,
Greg Hardy
or
versus
their exciting
Volkov.
one. What a fight! Oh my God, uh, that was crazy. Greg Hardy was one win away from a UFC title shot.
That's my goat.
Um, So you could take Marab there. They could take Islam there. I don't think it's going to happen, but that'd be cool. And then the last one, Japan. They've got a number of good Japanese fighters. They've got you could headline with Kyoji, maybe Tetsuro Taira if he, whatever is going on there.
I think they confirmed that they're doing a Japan event this year.
Dana talked about it, but I haven't seen any news. I haven't seen any, even any rumors. They've got a good number of fighters that they could take to Japan. Even throw some Chinese, some Korean fighters on there. So those are my
Probably some
three.
like Aaron Tao, those kind of guys, those road to UFC dudes, just throw in there.
Yeah, Road to UFC. Yeah, make it a fight night. Maybe put a title on the line. And then last but not least, I want to hear one crazy prediction. I'm not talking, uh, I'm not talking Johnny Walker gets knocked out. I'm not even talking. I don't want to hear two divisions. Oh, Hamzat's going up. I want to hear something insane, something crazy, something I couldn't ever guess you would say. Jeannie, you're gonna kick us off. Let's hear your crazy hot take.
I think Ilya Taporia vacates his title because of his legal issues, and I don't think he fights again in the UFC.
Wow. Well, what does that mean? Do you think he retires, boxes?
He's been talking about retiring for so long that he's gonna. He also said he said he was gonna retire and go to boxing, right? And that was before all this legal stuff happens. And this is a lot for him to overcome. I think he's gonna vacate because the division's gonna have to move on. He's gonna just give up the title around the summertime when we realize he's not gonna come back and fight this year. And then he's gonna end up going and doing his own thing, doing boxing. You know, he's gonna go the Conor McGregor route, and he's never gonna fight again in the UFC. I don't think.
Wow. Okay. I'll go next. I think the UFC White House card is a flop. Um, I don't even know. I don't think it takes place on the White House lawn. I don't think it's a pay-per-view. I think it flops and it embarrasses either the UFC, Trump, the United States, embarrasses somebody. And whether it could be a money thing, maybe it's a security thing, maybe it's I don't know, some random law or something. You know, Dana White's not all powerful. Something's going to happen there, and maybe it goes down in like maybe an arena in DC. But I think it's going to be a big embarrassment for the UFC. He might even the President Trump might even turn on Dana. That long-term friendship might have some rocky moments coming up.
Come on, Dax. You don't like sport washing?
I didn't say, maybe they move it to Saudi Arabia then and give $40 billion to Dana White. They love doing that too. All right,
Maybe.
well, close this out here. We've been talking for 40 minutes. What is your crazy hot take?
I don't think maybe one. I think Conor McGregor and John Jones will be on the UFC White House card. I think they'll get both of them.
Wow.
I think Dan is playing a little coy just to fuck with John Jones, just to because I think if if they wanted John Jones on there, they're gonna have him on there. Um, which why wouldn't you really? In all honesty, just don't let him headline. You know what I mean? Let Connor headline, let him do that thing, whatever. Um, my other crazy prediction I spoke about earlier: Brendan Allen beats DDP and fights for
Yeah.
and wins the UFC middleweight title in 2026. The path is there, man. I know it sounds crazy, but all he needs to do is get one win and you're in here, and that win is definitely there for Brendan against DDP. So that's it for
I
me.
will say that's probably the craziest prediction, craziest thing that's been said this episode. Um,
Disrespect.
so as we
Disrespect.
as we exit here, honestly, I'm looking forward to 2026. I think we're all pretty excited about the Paramount deal, what could be going down. Maybe they do some fun things. 2025 was kind of it started off pretty rocky. I'm getting well actually from Tristan here.
Don't want to hear about Paramount right now. I don't want to hear about it. I'm still bitter. I knew this was going to happen. Canada still has the Rogers deal. Rogers
Yeah,
owns UFC
Just get a VPN,
um,
bro.
broadcasting. No, because Paramount has like restrictions and shit.
yeah.
You need to have an American billing. You need to have a American location, an address set up. So there's like all these hoops you have to go through. I don't have an American billing account I can use to fucking make a
Well,
Paramount US
yeah,
account.
I'll
So
give you my account and
yeah.
use a VPN. There you go.
Hang on. Once Canada comes to 51st state, Tristan, you'll get all these benefits.
Yeah, man.
come on, shut up.
But you only pay like $15 for the pay-per-views, right?
What? What are you
How much do
talking
you pay?
about?
How much do you
How much are
pay?
pay-per-views for you there?
They were
$85.
90. Yeah,
There
Something
you
like that.
go. 80 fucking bucks a pay-per-view.
Why
that's how
don't you
much
just
it
move
still
to
is for you guys.
Why don't you just move
Yeah.
to Why don't you just
Oh,
move to Minnesota and open a daycare, a learning center?
there you go.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm not
he's
Somali.
taking money away from our heroes, the Somalis. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So I don't
right.
want to hear
Well,
about Paramount.
Like, get us out of
well,
here.
Canada
Yeah.
continues to be a country for now. And the UFC will continue to have Apex shows for the foreseeable future. And let's hope they do some fun things. I think The recurring theme is that there's some fun to be had. Locations, events, fights, and I think we get some fun this year. But yeah, we'll be back in about a week to break down the first card of the year, UFC 324, Gaethje versus Pimblett. Stay tuned for that episode. Gentlemen, Happy New Year. Thanks so much for joining me.
Good
Big
talk.
Will, UFC Genie, MMA Roundup. We'll see you guys. Adios.
Peace.